Mike Tyson, one of the most iconic figures in boxing history, rose to fame as a prodigy with raw power, speed, and ferocity that were unmatched in the ring. At just 20 years old, he became the youngest heavyweight champion in history, earning him the nickname Iron Mike. Despite his extraordinary talent and meteoric rise, Tyson's career was marred by controversies, legal troubles, and personal struggles that ultimately overshadowed his achievements in the sport. His story is as much a cautionary tale as it is a testament to the dangers of fame, unchecked aggression, and a lack of personal discipline. Tyson's rise to prominence was the result of a remarkable partnership with his trainer and mentor, Cus D'Amato. D'Amato not only honed Tyson's skills, but also instilled in him the belief that he was destined to be the greatest heavyweight champion of all time. Tyson's early career was characterized by his ferocious fighting style, which combined devastating punching power with lightning-fast speed. His ability to intimidate opponents before the first bell even rang made him a dominant force in the ring. Stewart introduced Tyson to Cus D'Amato, a legendary boxing trainer known for his work with Floyd Patterson and Jose Torres. D'Amato became not just Tyson's trainer, but also a father figure and mentor. Recognizing the raw talent and physical prowess of the young fighter, D'Amato took Tyson under his wing, bringing him into his home in Catskill, New York. D'Amato instilled in Tyson the discipline and psychological strategies necessary for success. He taught him the intricacies of the peekaboo boxing style, which emphasized defensive agility and explosive counterpunching. Under D'Amato's guidance, Tyson developed his trademark combination of speed, precision, and devastating power. D'Amato also worked on Tyson's mental game, emphasizing the importance of confidence and controlled aggression. He often told Tyson, "The hero and the coward both feel the same fear, but the hero uses his fear, projects it onto his opponent, while the coward runs." This mindset became integral to Tyson's approach to boxing and life. Tyson's amateur career was brief but impactful. He compiled an impressive record, highlighted by his victories in the Junior Olympics, where he won gold medals in 1981 and 1982. Tyson's fights rarely lasted beyond the first round, as he displayed a level of ferocity and skill unmatched by his peers. His amateur achievements cemented his reputation as a rising star. At the age of 18, Tyson turned professional. On March 6, 1985, he made his debut against Hector Mercedes in Albany, New York. Tyson won via a first-round technical knockout, setting the tone for what would become a historic run. His early professional fights were often scheduled close together, a deliberate strategy by his team to keep him active and maintain his momentum. In 1986, Tyson claimed the WBC heavyweight title by defeating Trevor Berbick in just 2 rounds. This victory made him the youngest heavyweight champion in history and set the stage for a reign of terror in the division. Over the next few years, Tyson unified the heavyweight titles, becoming the undisputed champion. His brutal knockouts and larger-than-life persona captivated fans around the world, and he was hailed as one of the greatest boxers of all time. What set Tyson apart from his contemporaries was not just his physical prowess, but also the psychological intimidation he brought into the ring. Tyson's pre-fight demeanor was often as impactful as his punches. He entered arenas with a menacing aura, wearing simple black trunks and no robe, accompanied by a deafening silence rather than elaborate entrance music. This minimalist approach amplified his mystique and struck fear into his opponents. Many of Tyson's fights were over before they began, as his opponents crumbled under the psychological weight of facing the most feared man in boxing. His ability to intimidate and dominate was unparalleled, making him a once-in-a-generation athlete. Tyson's rise coincided with the advent of pay-per-view boxing, and his fights became major cultural events. His story resonated with fans across the globe, particularly those who saw in him a symbol of triumph over adversity. Tyson became a household name, gracing magazine covers and television screens, while endorsements and media appearances added to his growing legend. By the late 1980s, Tyson was not just a sports icon, but also a cultural phenomenon. He appeared in commercials, music videos, and even video games, further cementing his place in popular culture. Tyson's fighting style was a masterclass in controlled chaos. The peekaboo technique, coupled with his ability to slip punches and deliver ferocious counterattacks, made him nearly invincible in his prime. His head movement and footwork were exceptional for a heavyweight, allowing him to close the distance on taller opponents and unleash devastating combinations to the body and head. Tyson's knockout power was legendary. He had an uncanny ability to end fights with a single punch, and his combination of speed and strength left even the most experienced fighters unable to cope. His training regimen, which included grueling hours of conditioning, sparring, and mental preparation, was a testament to his dedication to the craft. Despite his success in the ring, Tyson's personal life began to unravel. The death of Cus D'Amato in 1985 left Tyson without a stabilizing father figure. Without D'Amato's guidance, Tyson became increasingly susceptible to the influence of those who sought to exploit him for personal gain. This included his promoter, Don King, who became a controversial figure in Tyson's life. Tyson's relationships were also fraught with problems. His marriage to actress Robin Givens in 1988 was marked by public disputes and allegations of domestic abuse. The couple's tumultuous relationship became a media spectacle, culminating in a controversial interview with Barbara Walters, in which Givens described Tyson as volatile and abusive. The marriage ended in divorce after just 1 year, further tarnishing Tyson's reputation. One of the most significant turning points in Tyson's career came in 1990 when he faced James "Buster" Douglas in Tokyo. Tyson was heavily favored to win the fight, and many viewed Douglas as a mere stepping stone for the champion. However, Tyson entered the bout unprepared, reportedly engaging in late-night partying and neglecting his training regimen. Douglas, on the other hand, was motivated and well-prepared, fighting with a determination fueled by personal tragedy. In one of the greatest upsets in boxing history, Douglas defeated Tyson by a 10th-round knockout. The loss not only ended Tyson's reign as champion, but also exposed vulnerabilities that had been masked by his dominance. The defeat marked the beginning of a downward spiral for Tyson, as he struggled to regain the focus and discipline that had propelled him to the top. Tyson's legal troubles further derailed his career. In 1991, he was accused of raping Desiree Washington, an 18-year-old beauty pageant contestant. The trial, which received widespread media coverage, painted a damning picture of Tyson's behavior. In 1992, he was convicted of rape and sentenced to 6 years in prison, though he served only 3 years before being released on parole. The conviction had a devastating impact on Tyson's career and public image. While he maintained his innocence, the case highlighted a pattern of reckless and aggressive behavior that had been evident in his personal life. His time in prison marked a significant interruption in his career, as he was unable to fight during what could have been some of his prime years. Upon his release from prison in 1995, Tyson attempted to rebuild his career. His return to the ring was met with great anticipation, and he quickly regained the WBC and WBA heavyweight titles. However, the Tyson who returned was not the same dominant force he had once been. His skills had diminished, and his fights lacked the same ferocity and precision that had defined his early career. Tyson's comeback culminated in a highly anticipated showdown with Evander Holyfield in 1996. Holyfield, a former champion and skilled boxer, was seen as a formidable opponent. In their first fight, Holyfield defeated Tyson by an 11th-round technical knockout, exposing Tyson's limitations and raising questions about his ability to compete at the highest level. The rematch between Tyson and Holyfield in 1997 became one of the most infamous events in sports history. Frustrated by Holyfield's tactics and his inability to gain an advantage, Tyson bit Holyfield's ear during the fight, tearing off a piece of cartilage. The incident shocked the world and led to Tyson's disqualification, further tarnishing his reputation. The ear-biting incident was widely condemned and resulted in Tyson being fined $3 million and having his boxing license temporarily revoked. It marked a new low in Tyson's career, as it reinforced the perception of him as an uncontrollable and dangerous figure both in and out of the ring. Following the Holyfield fiasco, Tyson's career continued to decline. While he remained a popular figure in the sport, his performances in the ring were inconsistent, and he struggled to defeat top-level opponents. In 2002, Tyson faced Lennox Lewis in a highly publicized bout for the heavyweight title. Lewis dominated the fight, knocking Tyson out in the 8th round and effectively ending Tyson's hopes of regaining his former glory. In the final years of his career, Tyson became a shadow of his former self. He fought sporadically and faced lesser-known opponents, often appearing disinterested and out of shape. In 2005, Tyson retired from boxing after a loss to Kevin McBride, admitting that he no longer had the passion for the sport. Tyson's problems extended beyond the ring, as he faced significant financial difficulties. Despite earning over $300 million during his career, Tyson squandered much of his fortune on lavish spending, poor investments, and legal fees. In 2003, he filed for bankruptcy, claiming debts of over $23 million. His financial woes highlighted the lack of financial management and discipline that had plagued his career. In recent years, celebrity boxing has emerged as a lucrative trend, blending entertainment and sports in a way that appeals to a younger audience. Social media influencers, athletes, and even former champions have participated in these bouts, prioritizing spectacle over athletic merit. Jake Paul, one of the most prominent figures in this arena, has built a polarizing career by defeating non-boxers and aging athletes while boasting of his boxing prowess. While some fans see celebrity boxing as harmless fun, others view it as a dilution of the sport's integrity. For Tyson, who had already established his place among the legends of boxing, entering this space represented a stark departure from his illustrious beginnings. Many viewed it as a cash grab that risked diminishing his reputation as a serious athlete. When rumors of a potential fight between Tyson and Jake Paul began to circulate, the boxing community was divided. On one hand, there was undeniable intrigue. Tyson, even in his 50s, remained a physically imposing figure with a level of skill that far surpassed Paul's. On the other hand, the matchup seemed like a desperate attempt to stay relevant in a world where celebrity boxing, rather than athletic achievement, dictated the headlines. Critics of the fight argued that Tyson had nothing to gain and everything to lose. A victory over Jake Paul, an inexperienced and controversial figure, would do little to enhance Tyson's legacy. Conversely, even a close fight, or worse, a loss, would tarnish the reputation of a man once regarded as the baddest man on the planet. When the fight was finally announced, it was marketed as a clash of generations, pitting Tyson's old-school ferocity against Paul's youthful confidence. The bout itself, however, failed to live up to the hype. Tyson, though physically fit for his age, lacked the speed, power, and precision that had defined his prime. Paul, while overmatched in terms of skill, relied on his youth and stamina to survive the rounds. While Tyson managed to avoid outright embarrassment, the very act of sharing the ring with Jake Paul was seen by many as a low point in his career. The fight ended in a controversial decision. Some claimed Tyson deliberately held back to protect the spectacle. Regardless of the outcome, the fight drew widespread criticism for trivializing Tyson's legacy. Fans who had admired Tyson for his dominance in the 1980s and 1990s expressed disappointment, arguing that the fight reduced him to a participant in a circus-like spectacle. For younger audiences unfamiliar with Tyson's greatness, the fight served as their first impression of him, reinforcing the narrative of a faded legend clinging to relevance. The fallout from the Tyson-Paul fight was significant. Many in the boxing world saw it as a stain on Tyson's legacy, a desperate move that prioritized financial gain over respect for the sport. Critics argued that Tyson, who had already tarnished his reputation with controversies like the ear-biting incident and his legal troubles, had now further eroded his credibility by associating with the celebrity boxing trend. Tyson's participation in the fight also raised questions about the motivations of legendary athletes in retirement. While financial difficulties are often cited as a reason for such ventures, Tyson had already staged a successful comeback in the public eye. With ventures like his cannabis business, a well-received one-man show, and appearances in popular media, these projects had helped rehabilitate his image, making the decision to fight Paul seem all the more unnecessary. For the sport of boxing, the fight represented a broader issue: the increasing blurring of lines between legitimate competition and entertainment. Tyson's willingness to engage in a bout with Jake Paul lent credibility to a movement that many purists believe undermines the sport's integrity. It also set a troubling precedent for other retired champions who might consider similar fights, risking their legacies for short-term financial gain. Despite the criticism, Tyson's decision to fight Jake Paul may also be viewed through a more forgiving lens. Some argue that Tyson, like many aging athletes, simply wanted to reconnect with a sport that defined his life. The fight, while controversial, allowed him to once again experience the thrill of competition and connect with a new generation of fans. Additionally, the financial rewards from the bout likely provided Tyson with greater financial stability, ensuring that he could continue to pursue his post-retirement ventures. However, even this perspective cannot fully erase the damage done to his legacy. While Tyson's willingness to step into the ring at his age is admirable in some respects, the choice of opponent and the spectacle surrounding the fight overshadowed any sense of redemption. For a man who had already achieved so much in the sport, the fight with Jake Paul felt more like a step backward than a triumphant return. What's up for Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson's decision to fight Jake Paul represents yet another chapter in a career marked by brilliance and controversy. While Tyson remains one of the greatest boxers of all time, the fight with Paul highlighted the ongoing struggle to balance his love for the sport with the realities of fame and legacy. For fans who had long admired Tyson's dominance and skill, the bout was a sobering reminder of how even the greatest athletes can undermine their own legacies through poor decisions. In the end, Tyson's legacy will always include his incredible achievements in the ring, but it will also be colored by the controversies and missteps that followed him throughout his life. The fight with Jake Paul, while financially lucrative and entertaining for some, will likely be remembered as a moment when Tyson's greatness was overshadowed by the spectacle of celebrity boxing, a far cry from the heights he once reached as the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more amazing content. Don't forget to tap the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'd love to hear your thoughts.